Super Mario Bros. Wonder is filled with all kinds of little secrets and mysteries. But which ones are true and which ones are false? Well, today we will look into 15 of them. For example, will you get a star in a Wiggler race when you lag behind? Does a shell give you a speed boost underwater? And is Cake Mario really invincible? Well, let's find out. Number 15. In the last couple of videos, we've been trying to drill through all kinds of things to see if anything would happen. Sometimes it worked, and other times it didn't. And we are going to test another thing involving the drill mushroom. Because in some levels you can see these guys flying by, the blooms. They simply float through the air in one direction, and you can jump on them. They act a bit like trampolines, but if you jump on them, they will lose air and shrink a little bit every time. And if a bloom is stomped on enough, or if it's jumped into from below, it will pop like a balloon. Now, someone in my comment section asked me, does the drill power-up pop a bloom? Well, I tried it. And yeah, as expected, the sharp drill will pierce the skin of this creature and instantly kills it, both when you jump up or ground pound down. So yeah, this claim is 100% true. Number 14. Like I mentioned in previous videos, one of the oldest traditions for 2D Super Mario gamers is finding infinite one-up loopholes or tricks. Ways to farm as many as possible with the smallest amount of effort. And in the past, we already covered one of them. But today we are going to look at another. Channel Deluxe said that in the level Scram Skedaddlers, you can farm one-ups using a Skedaddler and the parachute cap badge. So I decided to try it, even though the explanation was a bit vague, and it took me a bit to figure out what to do. Now, when I finally understood what I had to do, I wasn't really able to pull it off. But I could see that some others, like Copycat, were able to do it. So yeah, this myth is true. But I will say, it is incredibly inefficient compared to others you have in the game. It requires a lot of effort, some skill, and a lot of time to farm a huge amount of lives. So I think it's not super useful. Number 13. This next one isn't really a myth, more a fun little detail I wanted to cover, so I will keep it short. According to Parker Rutt, if you run across note blocks or ride rails, you can hear sound coming from the Joy-Cons. And when I went into a level and tested that, I quickly noticed that it's real. The Joy-Cons actually make sound, which is fun. Now, this isn't some grand myth, but still, it's interesting. Number 12. One thing that I saw in Super Mario Bros. Wonder that I hope to see in future 2D titles is the detailed animations. Nintendo really did their best, and overall it looks great, a lot better than what we saw in older titles. And Buddy from the comment section claimed that the characters will panic if a Koopa is about to wake up in their hands or if a bomb is about to explode. So I booted up the game and decided to see this for myself. And as I already expected, it is a thing in the game. Look, you can see that Mario is incredibly worried because all of a sudden the Koopa is back in action and wants to come out of its shell. You can even see its eyes in the shell some sort of move. Now I bet Nintendo added this to telegraph to the player that the Koopa Troopa or bomb is gonna pop out or explode, which is a nice little touch. And so this claim is true. Number 11. When you play a lot of Nintendo games, you quickly notice that they are good at including all kinds of small details. Things that you normally don't notice, but they do make the game a whole lot better. And we see this in Wonder as well. In the past, we have talked about music in the game, and today we have another fun musical claim. Hudson said, "Did you know that if you stand still, the music changes compared to when you're moving?" Now, I hadn't noticed this during my playthrough, so I jumped into a level to find out if it's a thing. And I gotta say, it's real. But a bit difficult to notice. It seems like the music will calm down a bit when standing still, and it becomes more energetic when you start moving. Well, that's what I noticed at least. So yeah, this little claim is true, and it's cool to see that Nintendo puts so much effort into stuff like this, which most players will never notice. Number 10. One of the things I love the most about this new 2D Super Mario game is all the wacky wonder effects. One moment you're just walking through a level, and then when you grab a flower, all of a sudden everything starts singing. Or you transform into something weird, like cake, which is pretty rad. However, someone in my comment section claimed that you can't take damage when you're in your Cake Mario form. But when I read this, I didn't believe this person at all. But I have to test it before I can draw any conclusions. So I grabbed the wonder flower, turned into a piece of cake, well, I think it's cake at least, and tried to take damage. During this section, all kinds of spike balls will roll towards you, and yeah, those don't deal any damage at all. So, are you invincible in this form? Well, not really. These balls can deal damage, sort of. When the balls fall on top of you, you will slowly shrink, and if it pushes you all the way down, you end up dying. So yeah, you can take damage, but not in a normal way. So this claim is plausible, I guess. It depends on your definition of damage. Number 9. Now this next myth was a bit tricky to test. I wasn't really sure if I found the exact location that was mentioned. I mean, usually I get a slightly vague description of what I'm looking for, and then I need to figure out what to do. Which is fine, because I mean, all you lovelies can't upload some crazy detailed guide after all. Now this user said that in Piranha Plants on Parade, there's a flower on the roof you can jump to using the note blocks, and there's some secret dialogue. So I went into the level and started looking around, but I couldn't really find anything myself. Due to this, I decided to Google a bit, and again, I didn't really find what I was looking for. So I became even more confused. Sure, there is a secret exit in the level, also spoiler warnings, which you can access by jumping up here at these pipes, and I guess you could use these music blocks to pull it off. So maybe they were talking about this? If so, then yeah, it's true. But I'm not sure if this is it. There isn't really a flower with secret dialogue here, so yeah, I did my best. Number 8. Glitches are fun, and they are seen in basically every game because no one perfectly programs them, even Nintendo. I mean, especially Nintendo if you look at all the speedruns online of games like Super Mario 64 and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So of course, weird bugs and glitches are also seen in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Heck, some even break the entire game. But today we will look at a small one. A small bug in the level Secrets of Shava Mansion. Because according to Brady, at the end of the level where you find the third 10 coin, you can get stuck between the wall and the block you push away if you turn into an elephant. So I gave it a shot, and I tried to give myself as little space as I humanly could to see if it would work. But when I tried this, I actually took damage. Most likely because it wouldn't fit. So it seems like this claim isn't true. Now sure, I bet it was true at some point, but due to patches, it isn't possible anymore. I mean, it was a game-breaking bug after all. So yeah, it's no longer a thing. Number 7. We all know that Bowser loves Peach. I mean, so many games are about that. And even the recent Super Mario movie. And apparently, there's also an Easter egg that highlights this in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Micah said that there's special dialogue in the final boss fight if you are playing as Peach. So I decided to check it out. And after going through the level and finally confronting Bowser, I saw that he did have special dialogue. He called Peach my beloved. But aside from that, nothing special really happened. I even fought and defeated him to see if anything would be different after the fight was over, but no. As far as I could see, the ending was basically the same, so the only difference seems to be this one line, which isn't much, but hey, it's something, and it means that this myth is true. Number 6. It's cool to see that Nintendo is expanding upon the types of levels seen in 2D Mario games, and one that I like a lot is the Wiggler races. They really test your speed, reaction time, and platforming skills in a way that no other level does. Because you gotta beat Wiggler after all, and he is pretty fast. But according to one of my viewers, you will get help when you're too slow. Alberman said that in the Wiggler race, if you go too slow, the talking flowers will give you a star. Now, I had never noticed this, but I had also never lost a Wiggler race unless I died. So I tested this claim. When the race started, I decided to wait a while to give Wiggler a massive head start in the hopes of getting a star as soon as I tried to catch up. But I quickly found out that this just doesn't work. I didn't get a star from the flowers no matter what I did. So yeah, it's not a thing as far as I can see. So this claim is false. And I kind of get why. It would make it too easy and defeats the whole point of these levels. I mean, you could also use badges or characters like Yoshi to make it easier. Number 5. One badge that I used a lot in the game is the safety bounce, which will save you once from falling into pits or other deadly hazards, and it will only reset if you touch the ground, otherwise you will die the second time around. But apparently there is some sort of cheat for this, because according to 12 Little Lou, you can reset this badge by jumping on the bubble created by the bubble flower power-up. So I gave it a shot. I mean, if it's true, it could be amazing for speedrunners and even normal players in the harder levels of the game. And when I tried it, I saw that it does work. As you can see here, I got saved by the badge, and after jumping on the bubble, it was again able to save me. And I just love that this works. So yeah, this claim is true. Number 4. Nintendo really loves to add little details, which can be handy for the players, but other times it's just for fun. Now, for some reason, they added a lot of these things to the elephant power-up, and I kind of get why. You use it a lot, and it is certainly the poster child of this game. And according to Selena from the comment section, if you kick a shell upwards and keep doing this, the shell will eventually break. So I went into a level where you can find shells to try this out, and after some juggling, you can see that it isn't doing well. It's some sort of heating up, and at some point it broke, which rewards you with a bunch of coins. Now, it's not very useful because in the end, normal coins aren't super valuable, but still it's a lot of fun to do, and you could reach 100 coins for a 1-up due to it. So yeah, this is real, and to be honest, I love this kind of stuff. And I'm glad Nintendo adds these small things to basically all their Super Mario titles. Number 3. Underwater levels are not my favorite. They usually slow you down a lot and the controls can be a bit awkward. However, in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, they found a solution for this by adding the dolphin badge, which I use all the time in these kinds of levels. But someone told me that a shell could also help. This viewer said that if you hold a shell in a water level, it works like it did in Super Mario Galaxy. Now in that game, grabbing a Koopa shell underwater gave you an immense speed boost. It acted as some sort of small diver propulsion vehicle, and those things look hella fun. And in the Galaxy games, this mechanic was super useful. So is it in Wonder as well? Well, I didn't know, so I checked it out. And as you can see here, this actually does work. It's not as powerful as in Galaxy as far as I can see, but still, it's really cool that this is even a thing, and I didn't know about this at all. Number 2. These little buggers are cowards, and no one will convince me of anything else with their seat shooting and fleeing tactics. But apparently there's another little elephant Easter egg involving the skedaddlers. Because this commenter said, if you attack one of the seeds the squirrel shoots in the elephant form, then it will shoot an even faster seed. So I went into the first level where we can see these guys and checked it out. And I saw something interesting. Each time the seed goes faster and also becomes darker, until at one point they become some sort of supersonic, and after you deflect that one, it all goes back to normal. And sadly enough though, the reward for doing all of this is quite meager. Only a couple of coins. I wish the skedaddlers would have shot enough seeds for you to gain a 1-up, or that the last one explodes, but no, you get nada. Number 1. Now this next myth wasn't suggested by a viewer, but it's actually something I'm curious about. The drill mushroom in the game allows you to destroy almost anything. Sure, not certain enemies, but anything made out of rock is easy. Like these crystals or the hard rock walls seen in a lot of the levels. So I was wondering, what happens if you try to drill through a thwomp? Well, I tried this to see if anything would happen. For example, will you drill through them? Or do they break? Who knows? Now when I attempted it, I noticed something weird. When you jump up and bump into them with your drill head, it doesn't really do anything, but you don't take damage either. So that doesn't work. So I tried to ground pound on it, but when I did this, I took damage while the thwomp was fine. It seems like you can't drill through them, which is a bit sad. It would have been cool if you could kill them this way, but no. Now those were all the myths I wanted to cover, but don't worry, I made more videos like this, so check them out. Also, be sure to leave your ideas below, because you might be featured in the next video. And like and subscribe, because more videos are coming.